Welcome to our first session on Bitcoin and crypto fundamentals. In this first lesson, we'll be talking about what exactly is cryptocurrency. If there are some concepts you don't fully understand, don't worry, we'll be covering each concept in a lot of detail in future lessons. Picture this: money that exists only in the digital realm, not in your wallet or bank. This is cryptocurrency, a new breed of currency that lives online. It can be used to buy things, invest, or simply store value, but with unique characteristics that set it apart from traditional money. So, cryptocurrency is a form of digital currency. Unlike traditional currencies like the euro or the dollar issued by central banks, cryptocurrencies operate on a decentralized network using technology called the blockchain. The blockchain is like a digital notebook or ledger that keeps a record of all transactions ever done. This means they're not controlled by any single government or financial institution. So the blockchain is essentially a chain of blocks where each block records a group of transactions. Think of a block as an individual digital notebook. Once a block or a notebook is filled with transactions, it's added to the chain in a way that's nearly impossible to change. This creates a secure, transparent, and unchangeable history of all exchanges and transactions. Think of it like a digital notebook that everyone can see but no one can change. So, decentralization is one of the core principles of cryptocurrencies. Instead of one central authority dictating the rules, the network is managed by a global network of computers. These computers, or nodes, work together to validate and record transactions. This setup makes the system much more resistant to control and censorship, but also brings its own set of challenges, like how to scale the network or how to govern it. So, the security of cryptocurrencies comes from encryption techniques. Every transaction is signed digitally, which means you need a private key or a password to approve a transaction. This key acts like a very complex password that's unique to each user, ensuring that only the owner can move their funds. While transactions on the blockchain are public, the identities of the parties involved aren't. You interact using wallet addresses, which are essentially long strings of letters and numbers. This pseudo anonymity means your real world identity isn't directly linked to your transactions. Although, with enough data, some transactions can still be traced. So, for example, if you have a Bitcoin wallet and you're making transactions, odds are it's very hard to trace exactly who you're making these transactions to. Another feature of cryptocurrencies is transparency. Every single transaction on a blockchain is transparent and available for anyone to check or audit. This level of openness ensures that all participants can trust the system because they can verify the history and validity of every transaction. It's like having a public town square where every financial exchange is visible to everyone. The next feature of cryptocurrency is this concept of scarcity. Many cryptocurrencies have built-in scarcity. Bitcoin, for example, will never have more than 21 million coins in circulation. This scarcity can drive value if demand increases, similar to how limited supply in precious metals like gold works. However, this also means that if everyone starts mining or buying, the price could go up significantly. So, for example, with gold, you have gold miners, but because we know that there's a limited amount of gold in the world, there's also that concept of scarcity, as I mentioned. One of the most compelling reasons for cryptocurrencies is the concept of financial independence or financial sovereignty. You control your money without needing banks or governments to intervene. This can be particularly empowering in regions with unstable currencies or oppressive financial systems. The other reason is because of lower costs and speed. International transfers with traditional banks can be slow and expensive due to multiple intermediaries. Cryptocurrencies can bypass these, enabling direct peer to peer transactions. This can be a game changer for remittances, where sending money home doesn't cost an arm and a leg. For example, when you have people who move to a new country and send money back home, those people wouldn't need to pay fees on transferring money. The next reason why cryptocurrencies matter is because of the investment opportunity. Cryptocurrencies have introduced a new asset class or something new to invest for investors. The potential for high returns is there, but so is the risk, given the market's volatility. Understanding the market dynamics, the technology, and the regulatory landscape is crucial for anyone considering crypto investments. And then there's financial inclusion. Traditional banking systems exclude many due to geographical, economic, or identity barriers. Cryptocurrencies offer a way for anyone with internet access to participate in the global economy, manage their finances, or even start a business, significantly impacting financial inclusion. That said, there are a couple of challenges and criticisms with cryptocurrencies. The first is energy consumption. On the flip side, one significant criticism is the energy consumption associated with mining, especially for cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin that use the concept of proof of work. This process requires solving complex mathematical problems which consume a lot of electricity, raising environmental concerns. The next challenge is regulatory uncertainty. Another challenge is, as I mentioned, this regulatory uncertainty. So different countries have different stances on cryptocurrencies, from outright bans to embracing them as a legal tender, meaning they're part of the currency of that local country. This patchwork of regulations can make it risky for users and businesses to operate across borders. Then there's volatility. The price volatility of cryptocurrencies can be both a boon and a bane, meaning it can be very beneficial or it can be very detrimental. While it can lead to substantial gains, it can also result in significant losses. This unpredictability makes cryptocurrencies a highly speculative asset, meaning you're not always going to make money. So it's not suitable for everyone's investment strategy. And another criticism is the use in illegal activities. Due to the anonymity aspect that we talked about just before, cryptocurrencies have been linked to illegal activities like money laundering or funding illicit operations. Although blockchain's transparency can help trace funds, the perception remains and efforts are ongoing to combat these illegal uses. Beyond just being money, blockchain technology has applications in many different spaces in business and political systems, including in supply chain management, which essentially refers to taking like raw material and turning it into a finished good, as well as in political systems and voting systems and intellectual property rights and more. It's about creating trust in a trustless environment, which can revolutionize how we handle data and contracts. And this is an important theme that we're going to be discussing in future lessons around this blockchain idea and how it can be applied to different areas of business and politics. Looking ahead, the future of cryptocurrencies could involve more integration with traditional finance, better scaling solutions, or even new forms of digital governance. The space is still very young, and much of what we see today might evolve in ways we can't even predict. We've just scratched the surface of what cryptocurrencies are and why they're significant. In our next sessions, we'll focus specifically on Bitcoin, its history, its technology, and its place in the crypto ecosystem. And don't worry if there were some concepts you didn't fully understand in this session. We'll make sure in the coming sessions to dive deep into every aspect we talked about today.